They say an architect draws for eternity, so their walls catch the light. So the people who walk beneath their vaults suddenly feel taller, more dignified. But what happens when the most brilliant talent of his generation decides that his greatest masterpiece will be nothing? Imagine a man capable of designing palaces that no one can see, concrete cathedrals buried beneath equatorial jungles, glass bunkers suspended below the ocean's surface, invisible to satellites, impervious to prying eyes. In the hushed world of luxury design and extreme engineering, Tay Kayed, the Chateau architect. For 20 years, he was a secret genius behind the most impenetrable infrastructures on the planet, places that exist on no map. Spaces designed to survive the apocalypse, or to escape justice. He didn't build for the state, nor for the people. He built for those who have everything, but fear everyone. Today, we're going to enter the blueprints of the man who learned to make the impossible invisible. We'll follow the trace of his vanishing lines, decrypt his signatures hidden in concrete and steel, and we'll understand why, in the end, the shadow always devours the one who draws it. It all begins with a name we'll call Julian. That's not his real name, but it's what his collaborators used. Julian wasn't a criminal. Not at first. He was a poet of space, a sculptor of volumes. At 25, he swept all the architecture prizes at his school. His graduation projects made headlines in specialized journals. His buildings were odes to transparency. He loved glass, circulating air, lightness that defied gravity. He drew libraries where the sky became ceiling, museums where walls seemed to float. But the real world is more complex than a graduation sketch. More brutal, too. In 2008, the financial crisis hit. Major projects stopped overnight. Commissions dried up. Julian, like so many other brilliant young architects, found himself on the edge of bankruptcy. His firm had 3 employees he could no longer pay. His glass dreams were cracking. That's when a first hand reached out, a leather-gloved hand, from a world where money has no smell, but a lot of weight. According to our sources, his first special contract involved a residence on a private island off the coast of Colombia. Officially, a luxury villa for a European businessman. The request seemed simple on the surface, but in the confidential file, there was something else. The client wanted a sumptuous villa on the surface, yes, but also an absolute survival network below. A mere world, reinforced rooms, an autonomous ventilation system, reserves to last 6 months without external contact, a diesel generator buried 12 meters deep. Julian hesitated. Then he accepted. He told himself it was temporary, that it was to save his firm, that deep down everyone has a right to security. But something changed in him during this project. Julian discovered an unhealthy fascination for what he was creating. Building on the surface is about flattering the ego. It's seeking applause, recognition, the ephemeral glory of magazines. But building underground, that's defying nature itself. That's mastering the invisible, the air you can't see, the silence you can't hear, the light you must reinvent. He learned to manipulate airflow to create differential pressures that prevent any intrusion of toxic gas. He learned to soundproof silence itself, to absorb vibrations until an explosion 100 meters away sounds like a distant heartbeat. He created underground gardens with LEDs that perfectly mimicked the sunlight of June at 2:37 p.m. The project was a success, an invisible success. The client was delighted, and above all, he talked. In closed circles, Julian's name began to circulate. Gradually, his clientele changed. Diplomats gave way to oligarchs. Oligarchs. 2 shadow barons. Julian became the man of known places, those that appear on no cadastre, that escape all radars, that exist only for those who possess their encrypted GPS coordinates. How did we find his trace? Through an anomaly, a simple anomaly in the data. In 2019, during the dismantling of an international money laundering network in the Netherlands, authorities stumbled upon something unusual. In an ordinary villa in Rotterdam, behind an apparently normal kitchen wall, they discovered a vault, but it wasn't just a reinforced safe bought from a catalog. It was a living room. An air filtration system so sophisticated it could block particles on the order of microns. Walls of high-density concrete poured, using an extremely rare technique. ballistic glazing of unusual thickness, but above all of troubling mathematical elegance. The engineers who examined the structure all said the same thing. This is high art. A signature. We traced it back, order by order, construction site by construction site, deliveries of high-density concrete with specific additives, custom ballistic glazing ordered from an Israeli manufacturer, oversized HVAC systems for no apparent reason. All these orders led to shell companies based in Panama, the Cayman Islands, Luxembourg, but the plans themselves bore the same mathematical elegance, the same obsession with detail, the same pursuit of invisible perfection. We found at least 17 structures around the world bearing this signature, maybe more. Some are known to authorities, others remain architectural ghosts. I met a former collaborator of Julian's in an empty cafe in Berlin, a structural engineer who worked with him for 3 years before walking out. He didn't want to be filmed. He didn't want to give his name, but he wanted to talk. He told me something I'll never forget. Julian didn't see evil. He didn't even ask the question. For him, everything was geometry, physics, pure mathematics. If a client asked him for a room to hide 10 tons of gold or 10 kidnapped people, he didn't ask why. He asked, "What's the ideal humidity temperature for your guests? How long should they be able to sustain themselves?" That's where it hurts. Pure intelligence, pushed to the extreme, sometimes becomes a form of moral blindness, an anesthesia of conscience. Julian had become the architect of global paranoia. He designed tunnels for narco-submarines that looked like futuristic metro stations. He created doomsday bunkers for tech billionaires who feared the end of the world, a world they themselves were helping destroy with their algorithms and greed. He drew torture chambers that looked like spas, detention cells that had the appearance of 5-star hotel rooms. Is talent without conscience still talent? Or does it become a weapon? But the story of the shadow architect takes a tragic turn the day he receives the ultimate commission. An anonymous client. No name, no face, just a distorted voice during encrypted calls and cryptocurrency transfers of astronomical amounts. A power exceeding anything Julian had known. More powerful than a cartel. More discreet than a government. The request to design the final dwelling, an isolated structure, totally autonomous, capable of resisting any external threat, and one absolute condition. Julian would be the only one to possess the original plans. No copies, no collaborators, just him. Julian devoted 18 months to it. It was his masterpiece, his underground Sistine Chapel, a fortress of technological solitude, lost somewhere in the Central Asian steppes, between the borders of 3 countries that no longer control anything. He delivered the keys. He received his final payment. 6 months later, Julian disappeared. Not an orchestrated disappearance with false trails and plane tickets to the Bahamas. No signs of struggle in his Zurich apartment. No farewell message. Just a void, a blank on the map of his life. His passport was never used. His bank accounts remained intact. His parents, contacted by private investigators, had no news. Evaporated. Some say he was eliminated, that the client didn't want to witness. No creator capable of revealing the secrets of his ultimate fortress. That Julian knew too much, knew too many hideouts, possessed too many plans in his head. But others, those who really knew the man, think something more disturbing, more poetic too, in its horror. They think that Julian, from building golden prisons for others, ended up building his own, that he became the inhabitant of his own shadow. A man who perhaps still lives today in a perfect building he designed himself, but whose door only opens from the outside. Voluntary prisoner of his own genius. Or just a prisoner in a cage he made so beautiful you can no longer see the bars. Julian's story poses a question that haunts us all, whether we're architects, engineers, developers, creators. How far are we willing to put our genius at the service of those who want to hide from the world? We live in a paradoxical era. We want to show everything, share everything, expose everything on social media. Transparency has become a religion, and yet, behind the scenes of this hyper-connected world, the invisible industry has never been more flourishing. We're building higher walls, deeper servers, more sophisticated vaults, better kept secrets. The Julians of this world are working right now. They're drawing bunkers for the ultra-rich, convinced that society will collapse. They're creating underground data centers to store Bitcoin fortunes. They're designing air-conditioned refuges to survive the climate change their clients helped create. Julian, the shadow architect, has disappeared, but his walls are still there, beneath our feet, behind banal facades, in the silence of deep forests. They're waiting for the world to collapse, to prove they were the only ones who were right. The next time you pass by a windowless building, or a hidden door in a dark alley catches your eye, ask yourself who designed it. Ask yourself who's hiding behind it. And above all, ask yourself what's inside. Because sometimes, an architect's greatest achievement isn't to be seen, celebrated, admired. It's to ensure you'll never know he was there. If this dive into the heart of the invisible captivated you, if you want to explore other files that reveal what the world prefers to hide, subscribe to Vindex. Don't let the shadows decide what you see. See you at the next case.